Hello and welcome to another episode of App Stories. Today's episode is brought to you by Steamclock. I'm John Voorhees, and with me is Federico Vitici. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. I wanted to talk to you today. I think we're going to do something a little fun today. We're gonna play a game, and we're going to make the rules up of this game as we go along. We are going to talk about. I wanted us to come up with some apps that we each think the other doesn't use, that we use regularly, and sort of challenge each other to use those for a while. And then we'll check in periodically between now and the end of this process. I'm thinking that sometime after WWDC, we'll kind of take stock of everything and see how it went, because, we'll be doing between now and WWDC, we're going to start doing our wish list episodes on App Stories, which those will be coming up very soon. But I want to lay out, I guess, a couple of ground rules. One is you can't suggest that I use something that you built for yourself. So that just doesn't work. Okay. It can't be something like that. But it does need to be something that you use yourself kind of day to day that you're pretty sure that I don't. And so we're gonna just kind of lay them out there and see if the other person is using it or not, first of all. And if they are, then you're going to have to pick something else and move on to the next one. What do you think? Do you have any other spins on this that you'd like to?
No, I think so far it works.
Okay. I don't know that we're playing for any prize or anything like that.
No, there's no points or prizes involved. Why don't you go first, so I can get a sense of what you have planned? Because I have a few potential picks, but I want to see what you do first. I want you to shoot your shot first.
Okay,
John.
I have several possibilities for you, but I think I've landed on three that I like a lot.
Okay.
And my first one is I want you to try Dropzone 5, which...
Dropzone 5.
All right, look it up. It is a Mac menu bar app. They were actually a sponsor not that long ago, and because
don't you need to use a disclaimer, John?
Didn't I just give a disclaimer by saying they were a past sponsor? Yes, they were a past sponsor, but they are. I'm using Dropzone day to day now. It is a menu bar app that I will probably get around to writing.
Oh yeah, I used to use this.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is
I think previous version though.
Yes, exactly. And I think the thing about Dropzone now, and it's on SetApp, and also you can just buy it outright.
I was just looking for as a quick parenthesis. I was just looking a couple of days ago for a reason to re-sign up for SetApp. Do you recommend it? Like, should I do it?
Yeah, there's a lot of good apps in there. There really is.
Are many of your recommended apps today for me on SetApp?
No, only this one, I think.
Okay.
I think only this one. Let me look at my computer here. But let me just kind of give you my thinking here, all right? Is that Dropzone, as a lot of people probably have used it before, including yourself. However, it's changed quite a bit. And this update to version 5 has a lot more going on that I think you'll like, including a CLI, Federico. So this it works as a shelf.
Wait, this should be a review on Mac Stories, by the way.
Yes, you know what? There's only so many hours in the day, Tici. It's on my list.
I'm just saying, okay.
but yes, it is. It's got a shelf. It's got an app launcher built in, essentially. It's got all kinds of actions you can do, like, you can trigger the download of YouTube video or the YouTube audio, or you can, convert a file into one format to another. A lot of things like that, custom icons, multiple shelves and things like that you can create, so you can have different setups for kind of different workflows, which I really like. And then on top of all that, there's terminal integration, so you can set up various scripts and other automations for yourself in the terminal and use Dropzone as a component of that. Maybe you're doing some processing of files and you can drop them all into Dropzone. And this is one of the things that caught my attention, because I'll do all this audio processing of podcast files, and if I could have them automatically dropped into Dropzone, then I can just then drag them into the next place they have to go. It's just kind of a convenient way to deal with that sort of thing. So I think you need to use Dropzone.
This looks really nice. I remember didn't used to be something that appeared like in the middle of the screen with drag and drop. Now it's a menu bar app. Does it still let you like assign shortcuts
Yeah.
to the grid?
Yeah. There's keyboard shortcuts. It can be used to trigger shortcuts. These action items can be used to trigger Apple shortcuts. There's a bunch of different, integrations that you can add to this, different kinds of actions, plus build your own with the terminal. It's pretty neat.
So you can build your own action with the CLI. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so.
So you can just
and you can just work. The features of the app are built into the CLI too. So it's more than just building your own actions. It's not just like a developer tool for making actions. It's for using the app as well. So one app that I've used that's sort of similar to this is Dropover as opposed to Dropzone. And Dropover is the one where you kind of shake a file.
I think I was thinking of Dropover.
I think that's what you were thinking of, because I think Dropzone has always been in the menu bar. But Dropover, you shake the thing and then you can put it on the shelf, or you can drop it on an action. I still am using that because for some use cases, it is handy just to shake a file and have it sitting in the middle of the screen as opposed to up in the menu bar. But I think Dropzone has a lot more to offer in terms of customization and integrations and actions. So that's why I've been using it for a few weeks now.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of Dropover, but this looks really nice. Okay. All right, I have something completely different for you, John. Have you ever used the email service / app made by the folks at Every called Cora?
Cora.
That's
no,
Cora.
I've seen it because I've used Monologue before, but I've not used Cora.
Yeah, so Cora, the website is cora.computer, which I love the domain. So this is something that sits on top of your Gmail.
All right.
And the idea is that you give a permission to scan your Gmail history, builds a profile of you. So immediately, if you're not a Gmail user or you're not comfortable with that idea, and you're an AppStories listener, don't use it. I think John and I are well beyond this idea of comfort. So we just try everything, whatever.
Plus, our email is just a horrible mess that nobody would really want to ever see.
Exactly. So I got into this because my email is a mess. Like it's unmanageable. The more you do email, the more email you get. And I saw this advertised as part of my Every subscription, and I thought, well, why not? I can use it. So I've been running this for the past week, and I gotta say, I really dig it, and I think you'll also be into it. So the idea is that this thing connects to your Gmail, scans your incoming messages, and tries to learn. You can also teach it over time because there's a built-in assistant, so you can always make your changes. You can always say things like, this person is important, always leave this person in the inbox. Like, you can always make those manual changes, but it tries to basically assemble messages that maybe don't need a response or things that you should know into an email brief, which is like a summary that is generated for you. It's generated for me twice a day. So one in the morning. I
like the sound of that already because I've tried to create similar things myself in Claude.
Twice a day, it generates a brief for me. And when it generates a brief, those messages that are part of the brief are immediately either archived or just removed from the inbox anyway. So you get a brief.
Because they're linked, right? The brief is linked, so you get back to it.
Because the brief mentions them, summarizes them, and links them. So you can always get back to those messages.
Okay.
But basically, it's like a summary of some messages decided by default by Cora that you can, however, tweak, which is what I've been doing for the past few days. So things like these test flight messages, I always want you to categorize them in a category and always include them in the brief. This person from Apple PR, I never want you to include it in the brief. Just leave it in the primary inbox. And I've been doing this for the past week or so because I've also decided to... So I'm still using Spark, especially because of the message sharing that we do.
Yeah.
But I've also decided you told me that MimeStream was available on the iPad, and so I finally took the plunge and embraced the MimeStream and /Gmail lifestyle.
You just spoiled one of my picks.
I'm sorry.
I was going to tell you to start using MimeStream.
So I did it. I embraced the Gmail categories lifestyle. So primary, promotions, social, and updates.
Yep.
Embrace MimeStream and embrace Cora. And I really think you'd be into Cora, especially if you start tweaking the... There's an assistant built in where you can chat with the assistant and you can make these changes. So you can make your brief as detailed as you want and include certain people or certain categories. But I really like the idea that the brief tells me, okay, look, here's your brief. I say I automatically handled like 20 messages for you.
What do you mean by automatically handled? Is it like it's not responding on your behalf to anybody? Is it
never responds on your behalf.
Okay, good.
It summarizes things, archives things.
Okay.
Labels messages.
Okay, good.
And it's optional, but you can also choose to have Cora pre-draft messages for you based on your tone with multiple takes.
Okay.
I use this. I never fully really like a take, but I leave it enabled because it's very convenient to have like the skeleton of a draft typed in Gmail, especially like the first name of somebody.
So I think that there's a lot to just making it easier to get into the act of responding. I think that a lot of people are doing this with writing too. I think the difficulty is knowing how far to take that and not taking it too far and sending people a bunch of canned, unhuman sounding emails. But I think that I don't have a problem with doing that kind of thing because it's like, hi, so-and-so, and then, regards, Federico. Yeah, I think that that's totally cool. How do you get from the brief to MimeStream? Because I'm assuming that the links it's giving you are Gmail links. Are you using your skill?
You can use whatever browser extension you want to rewrite Gmail links into MimeStream deep links.
Yeah.
If you use Safari, there's a Safari redirect. If you use Chrome, there's a the URL auto redirector. So anytime you open this in a browser, you can have a little extension that redirects that Gmail link to a MimeStream link, because MimeStream is one of the few email clients that uses Gmail message IDs.
Right. That's why I like it.
It's very easy to get around that.
Yeah, I basically took the skill that you had written that was, I think, just Gmail and Spark, and I added MimeStream to it a couple of weeks ago, and it's been really nice.
Yep.
All right, well, I will give Cora a try. Let me, since I don't have MimeStream, I didn't realize you were already using it. I'd been meaning to tell you should get in touch with Neil and get on the test flight, but I am going to tell you that you should try Zed. You should finally try Zed, Federico.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those people. I did this to you with Tailscale, and I eventually wore you down. I don't use Zed regularly, and I don't think you ever will either. However, I view it as kind of like a multi-tool for text. It is obvious. It's an IDE. It's for developers, but you can open up your Markdown files in it. It has good syntax highlighting. It has a sidebar that you can hook up to Claude, OpenAI, GPT, whatever you want, all that stuff. And I find it a very convenient way, using my API key, to load up one of my articles and hit just say proofread. And then it'll show you all the things, and it'll put it in context and explain to you why these are mistakes. And, you can obviously tune it so it's not doing stylistic suggestions. It's just doing actual proofreading mistakes. And I like to do that before I send it to Devin or whatever, or publish myself, because it catches things like missing comments or missing commas or misspelled words, all of that. And then you can hit a button and you can have it do the corrections yourself after you've reviewed them, or you can do them and make them manually if you prefer to do it that way. So I like that. There's also a terminal built in. And because there's a terminal built in and you have your agent on the sidebar, you can use the terminal with your agents to do things with with those documents, whether that's, put them into Dropzone or send them off to a folder, or, most of the stuff I'm doing in here is not super complex, either from a coding, a scripting, or just an agentic standpoint. But because it has both the terminal and the agent right there in the text editor, it's just very easy to do a variety of different things all in one place. So I usually don't write in it. I will usually load up my document at the end of the drafting process into Zed and do the proofreading. And sometimes I'll do a little something else. But for now, it's mostly a proofreading tool for me. And I've tried various proofreading tools that work with other text editors. And I kind of like this the best, I think, of all of them. I mean, obviously, you could get yourself a plugin for Obsidian probably. And there's other ways you can do it. You can always just paste all your text into one of the chat apps, for instance. But I think that it's pretty nice to have it all in one kind of self-contained app.
Okay.
It's also very fast because it's written in, I think, Go. I mean, the downside here, obviously, is there's no mobile version. There's no iPhone or iPad, and there probably never will be because I think it's written in Go, and it would have to be written from the ground up in Swift or something. But when you're on your Mac, it might be worth trying.
It's they don't have a mobile version, right?
No, they just went to 1.0 like a week ago. So after, these are the same folks who made Atom, I believe, which is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's got a pretty heavy duty pedigree behind it, and I think it's worth trying. I mean, you may not stick with it, but I want you to give it a try over the next month, and we can talk about it a little bit. This episode of App Stories is brought to you by Steamclock. You probably have opinions about app quality. You know the difference between an app that feels right and one that feels off. Steamclock software builds mobile apps for companies that care about taste. They're a design and development studio based in Vancouver, Canada, and they've been shipping iOS and Android apps for over 15 years. Their clients are growing tech companies that care about mobile, but don't have the in-house team to build something great. Steamclock works with companies to level up their app so that they can go from it's holding us back to it's pulling its weight. Some of their clients discovered the hard way that vibe coding your way to the App Store isn't a product strategy. What makes Steamclock worth calling isn't just that they execute well. It's that they'll help you figure out the right approach and give you an honest read on your situation before you commit to anything. Their client apps have been downloaded over 10 million times, and they've helped 5 of their clients through acquisitions. If you're building something and need a mobile team that cares as much as you do, Steamclock is where to start. Visit steamclock.com/appstories to get in touch. Again, that's steamclock.com/appstories. Our thanks to Steamclock for their support of the show.
I want you, John, to get a handle of your subscriptions with an application that I really like called Subscription Day.
Subscription what?
Subscription Day.
Okay.
Day. It's available everywhere now. It's on the iPhone, iPad, and the Mac. And it's got this beautiful UI that is a calendar view that shows you all of your recurring subscriptions on the day that they're due. And there's a couple of things that set it apart. The UI is really exceptional. They have built-in icons for different popular services and things you pay for. Okay. You can organize expenses in categories like productivity, entertainment, that kind of stuff. You can have lists like personal or work, and you can choose between multiple currencies and set a notification, like that kind of stuff. They have this impressive feature where you can also import subscriptions from the App Store by taking a screenshot of your App Store subscriptions page. Oh,
that's clever.
And you pass a screenshot, and they probably have some kind of model that runs image recognition, and it gives you recommendation. Like it gives you like the actual things that get extracted from the screenshot, like the name of the app, the total amount due, and the day that it renews. It's a very convenient way to fill up your library of subscriptions. Cool. They have a way to visualize your different categories, how much you spend per year, how much you spend per month. stuff like that. And it definitely helps. If you're like me and you try a bunch of stuff and then you forget to turn off auto renew, it comes in handy.
You know what I do, and I'm sure developers will hate to hear this, but when I subscribe to an app, I almost 90% of the time I immediately cancel it because
you got to do it, especially
because if you sign up for, even if I sign up for a year, I often do that because I figure, okay, this way, if I miss it when it goes away, I'll know I should go back and sign up again, and then I won't do the cancellation thing. But especially when I'm trying something for a month or a week or whatever it is, I'll cancel right away. And then if I don't miss it, I don't miss it, and I don't have the expense. But that's a good idea. I appreciate the thought in this one because I just realized over the weekend that I'm paying for GeForce Now for $20 a month, and I had no idea. I could swear that I canceled that 2 or 3 months ago, and I haven't been using it because I didn't think I had it available. And that's a good $40 that just went out the window. So yes, I will check this out. All right. I could be really mean with this pick, Federico. I could either be really mean or I could help you just explore new apps. And I don't think I'll be mean because I know if I tell you to use this app that I'm thinking of, you just won't do it. You just won't do it because it's an app that I know you don't like. So instead of picking an app I know you don't like, one made by Apple, in fact, I will. It's Apple Podcasts. That's what I was thinking.
No, not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
That's why I'm going to pick instead. I'm going to pick PastePal. All right.
Man, I just started using Paste.
Oh, they're both good. Ago. They're both good. I'm not here to throw any shade at Paste.
Okay, no. Tell me why. Tell me why.
All right. I can't tell you why it's better than Paste because I have used both. For some reason, PastePal stuck with me more. I think I have been, it's been a combination of things. I primarily use this app at my Mac. I don't use it on the iPhone or the iPad very much at all. Although it does come in handy when like Universal Clipboard decides it's just not going to work. I can use PastePal to kind of move things back and forth between my devices as I need them. But on the Mac, I have it set up as a little shelf that pops up from the bottom when I hit Control P. And I love it because you can save snippets. So I have some snippets saved in there. But a lot of times what I do a lot of copying and pasting for things like setting up YouTube and Libsyn and other things for our podcasts. So it's very handy to just go through and copy a bunch of things and then go to a website and go paste, 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 paste. And having that shelf just kind of pop up and down is really convenient. And it's also just very reliable. I found that it syncs quite quickly to the other devices when I do need that. And I've never really had any hiccups on the Mac. So this one might be, I don't know if this one's part of SetApp, but some of these, there's an awful lot of these apps out there. And I've been using it for, no, maybe it's not. PastePal. No, it looks like it's on the App Store as maybe a single one-time payment, maybe? Yeah, it's a one-time payment, $15, and then there's tips. So yeah, you know what? I just kind of like it. I've fallen into the habit of using it. Maybe I should shake it up and try something else, but this one is the one that's working for me, and I've been using it probably for about 2 years now, consistently. So I want you to give it at least a try.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You got one more for me?
So I think I do. But so basically, I'm torn between a couple of these. I'm looking at my phone again.
Yeah.
What are you using for read later?
At the moment, I switched to Matter.
Okay, same. Have you traditionally been good with habit trackers?
No habit tracker has ever really stuck for me, to be honest. I mean, I think I have ones that I've seen that I think, oh, that looks really nice, but I don't use them very much. I've never used one consistently.
Okay, so I want you to try one.
Okay.
So this is, and there's a very good reason because I'm
Okay.
picking this one. So it's called Habitify.
Okay, I think I
It's
know that one.
cross-platform.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the only habit tracker that has an API that you can create skills for using any agent.
Oh, interesting.
And I have found that it's become so much easier to just text, if you have something like OpenClaw
Sure.
or Perplexity Computer, like
Yeah.
whatever, to just say, hey, I, mark my, brush your teeth habit as done. Like I have done, or you can say, I have done all these things. Please mark them as done in Habit Tracker. Or you could have your OpenClaw or Hermes agent, whatever you're using, like proactively reach out and say, hey, I've seen that you still haven't done those habits. Like you can do all those things.
You can have it harass you.
Yes, they have excellent live activities on the iPhone. So if you need to, make sure, and you can choose like, do you want this particular habit to like be annoying and be persistent in the live activity until you mark it as done or not? You can set multiple notification times. It's very extensible and programmable, which I think is something that you may enjoy.
Yeah, that is an interesting twist. I think that's a very interesting twist. And there's probably some things that are lurking in my to-do list that really should not be there.
You can maybe turn into habits.
Yes.
This is also something that I've been doing.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot to be said for, and I can already feel it happening with the way that reminders works, where you dump things into reminders, and then it just becomes this like infinitely long list of random stuff, and it can be hard to keep track of and to organize at times.
Yes.
Which is why I built my own app to do that. But yes, a bit of fun.
Okay.
All right, I think that's a pretty good list.
That's a good list, I think.
I think it's pretty good. So I think what we should do is we've got, roughly a month before WWDC. We should check in each week between now and then with a little brief. You don't have to try all three of these apps right away, Federico. We can each kind of ease our way into them, and then each maybe talk about one of them each week until we get to WWDC, and then we'll do some sort of final analysis after I get back from California, and we have some time to catch our breath and see how it all worked out for us. We'll have to what we'll have to do. We're going to have to create a habit tracker to start a habit to use these apps that are new to both of us.
Well, you do it. You're the one that's going to use the habit tracker. I use it.
Yeah, no, I know, but you get to do that too. So, it'll be good. It'll be good. I think it'll be fun. And you know what we're going to do I think we're going to do for AppStories Plus for the post show. I think I want to talk about apps, and I don't even know if I wrote this in our notes. I think we should talk about apps that we aspire to use that we've never been able to get ourselves to use.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, it's an adjacent topic, which is I have some apps on my iPhone that I really want to use, and I never really have used them enough, or I haven't used them enough in a long time. So
okay.
All right.
We
So
can do that.
We'll do that. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. You can find me and Federico over at macstories.net. You can also find us writing for Club Mac Stories, which you can join and become a member of. And if you are a Club Premier member, you also get AppStories Plus, which includes the post show that I just mentioned. And we're on social media too. Just go and search for us there. Federico is at Viticci. That's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees, JOHNVOORHWS. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.